Hi everyone, it's FSketcher fashion drawing tutorials, and in this lesson we're going to render Badgley Mischka Resort 2018 dress. So here we have, we're working with metallic threads and how to show them. So first, today actually I'm showing how I'm drawing. To show the side view, I'm drawing the shape, like egg-like shape. And then on the same places where we usually have eyes, nose and mouth, I place them, and they slightly, I change the position. So once I'm happy with the position, I just alter slightly her facial features to make them the way that I want them. And so I want to change her lips a bit, and I think her jaw is too sharp. So let's change that. So okay, once I have her head ready, I'm just drawing her neck, and it's at a slight angle to the right. Her left shoulder, let's say the shoulder on the right looks longer because this side of hers is closer to us, and the shoulder on the left looks short, as you can see. So now I'm trying to put her legs correctly to catch her movement. That's how I usually draw. I find her knees. Usually if I have photo reference, I just check. For example, her knee is a bit to the right and her shoulder, her ankle is a bit 2 heads to the left from her knee or something like that. So now I'm just drawing her arms. I don't need to draw her body that much because her dress is closing most of her body, so I just need the most important shapes and locations of her body parts. So now I'm drawing her hands. I usually draw the palm part first and then I attach fingers. So now let's draw her dress. So here it's really, like a very light, I think it might be like chiffon, and it's very soft. And here it's not slim, it's really wide dress. So from her shoulder, the fabric is moving along with her body as she's stepping forward. So the skirt is going a bit to the back. And here we have one more wrinkle. I want to make it bigger to show that your dress is really wide. When we draw illustration, we slightly exaggerate the shape so we can deliver the information. So I added some extra folds, and here's the other sleeve. Then I'm drawing her fit. Next, I'm working with a fine liner. Just outline everything that I need. So for the body, usually collarbone a little bit, and then the details of her dress. Okay, let's render her skin. So here I'm using 2 colors. I start from tan color, and I'm just showing the shadows, the darkest parts. Usually it's around her eyes, nose bridge, cheekbones, under her chin, showing collarbone, your chest, and the other side of your face is not that well lit. Then your hands, and then I'm using patty color, which is lighter. So sometimes I make this contrast. I prefer using a darker tone for the shadows and then a lighter tone to make this beautiful contrast. So now I'm drawing the flowers on her dress that are actually metallic. They're golden, so made of golden threads. So actually you can find the link to the image next to the video, and you can redraw these flowers. I'm not drawing exactly the same thing. Now I'm scribbling on her collar. There she has this metallic embellishment with stones, so we need to show it. Not exactly what is it, but the impression of it. So I'm continuing drawing the flowers. So next I'm using tulip yellow, and I'm just coloring all those flowers with this. So I'm going to color everything, I'm not going to leave the highlights. I will show them later with a whitening gel pen. Next, take warm gray 3 and show some. Is warm gray 3, I'm showing the shadows on her skin. Also, you can show the details of these flowers and add some shadows where fabric is folded. And here we have several huge folds, so you can see them. So now I'm using ice gray. Let's color your arm. So I'm using ice gray 5 because actually her dress is black, but somewhere we have highlights, and in order not to miss them, first I'm using dark gray. So, and I like the way ice gray looks with this yellow. Next I'm using warm gray 4 for some details of these flowers, just adding some ice gray. So it's just, as an artist, you always play around. If you feel like adding something else or change something, just do it, because there is no rule. It's not science, no exact procedures. It's just my methods. I made it up. So next I'm using whitening gel pen, and sometimes I make dots, sometimes I make many strokes, just trying to show the reflection of light. Sometimes I follow the shape of the flower. If there is some specific shape of the petals, I can show them with a little bit curved lines. Now I'm using black marker, and as you can see here, we can show some texture, show some smaller folds, and by not coloring everything. So now I left your arm visible, and here and there I'm leaving a little bit of ice gray. And now I'm adding more of it because as it dried it became too light. So be careful when you color between the flowers. So I just keep going, working the same way. Here pay attention at the way that I'm doing it, because later I will just skip some parts where I'm just repeating these steps. So try to randomize what you're doing. Somewhere you put dots, somewhere you put just curved lines. Sometimes you can color totally with white. Sometimes you can add extra leaves on ice gray 5. Like if you feel that your flower is too small, you can add some extra leaves around it, some extra petals. So as you can see, I'm adding dots around the flower. Just, I think on illustration it looks good, even though I'm stepping away from the original design. So here I'm adding extra details that I feel like are missing. So let's keep working with black. I'm adding more into your bodies. Now take a correction pen and just scribble on that color part. So I'm just not drawing anything, just scribbling, moving my correction pen to the left, to the right. Okay, adding some warm gray 3. And now I'm using ice gray 3 and ice gray 5. Now with a fine liner, I'm just showing the details of these flowers, like separating details a little bit. So this way they will look more interesting, plus I can refine the edges. So if, for example, with black marker or gray marker, you spoiled a little bit the edges, you can fix. So now I added black to the inner part and just scribbling a little bit with a fine liner, nothing specific, just some thin random lines near a black area. And many dots with a white gel pen. And actually you can start drawing first before working with yellow marker. You can draw all the details and then add marker. So it depends, like, anyways, like, okay. This even might be more convenient because here you see the exact shape. For the lighter parts, I'm using ice gray 2 and adding ice gray 3, ice gray 5, so it's just playing around. For the warm yellow color, I'm using warm gray 3. So more black. Especially in the low part, I'm going to color mostly with black between the flowers. As you can see, her sleeves are really wide, wider than her arms, obviously, and that's why the light goes through the fabric, and that's why we color it with gray. Play around with a darker ice gray, and on the sleeve I can show the back flowers. So I just draw the same shape, but just with pure gray. So and just working with white pen. So let's add a little bit of warm gray 4 to show the details on the flowers, plus to show the folds. Adding some, just working the same way as I did before. Sometimes you outline with white ink gel pen, sometimes you add some strokes inside. Adding a little bit of black. And here I want to add some shine on the fabric as well, just with dots. So next, I'm going to repeat the same steps on her skirt. So now just drawing the flowers. You can make up your own flowers, like who cares, it's just illustration. Next step, I'm using tulip yellow again, covering everything. And then with a warm gray 3, adding some shadows on those flowers. Now it's time for a black marker. Again, I'm going to leave small folds light. And then I'm going to color it with ice gray. Again, I'm just, you can start with ice gray. I just started with black because here I'm really leaving just tiny spots and it doesn't work to make 2 layers of marker. So just black, and then I'm coloring the rest with ice gray 5. So here you can see what I'm talking about. Sometimes I feel like my explanation sounds like nonsense. And now the same process. You can, sometimes stop, please watch in a full screen mode, and actually pay attention to the original design. More you try to draw something similar to make the same effect with the tools that you have, more realistic it's gonna look like. So, and more you do it by memory or by intuition, more stylized it's gonna be. So that's how you make things realistic or stylized. It's about seeing or feeling, I think. Here I'm adding warm gray 4, it's a bit darker. Let's color your skirt with ice gray 3 or 2, because that part is transparent. I finished the rest of the skirt with working the same way. So now I'm using purple pencil to add extra shadows on her face. And I'm coloring her hair first with a tan marker. Then I'm adding warm gray 4. And just adding some pencil. As you can see, I left some highlights. So more of a warm gray 5 on the top, even to make it darker. So you can highlight some folds on your dress with white pencil and darken some shadows with a black pencil. Just adding some highlights with a white ink gel pen on her body. Well, let's finish working with her shoes. She has some shining details over there. So we're almost done with this sketch. I hope you enjoyed it. It was not that easy one. It took me several hours to draw this sketch. But it's really a cool thing. If you want some, metallic arabesque patterns or brocade, this can help. And I actually want to put her into Istanbul, just drawing a stylized background, a bit different than reality, but it's more interesting than just empty space. So it gives a little story So guys, that's it. Subscribe to FSketcher channel for more tutorials. I share much more exclusive content on FSketcher's Patreon account. So hope to see you there and take care.